Hello one and all. I am here to remind you that as we draw closer and closer to the end of Season 2, we should reflect on ourselves and go for our past memories and treasures. What better place to start than the beginning? Gorg needs a new script. Our relic and cherishable item from this episode is the phone line that Gorg connected to Senor Taco with. This episode reminds us that Gorg is not too well at writing scripts. That's all I could think of in the 5 minutes I had. Moving on to episode 2. Travis Scott meal. And of course, why wouldn't the relic be the Sprite that apparently Gorg got jumped up for in price? This episode reminds us that McDonald's food still tastes like shit, but we go there anyways. Moving on to episode 3. Prank call. The relic we get from this episode is the phone that Senor Taco was holding. Its craftsmanship and fine arts display to all that this episode is going to be about, well, prank calling. Moving on to episode 4. Highly regarded as one of the worst episodes of Gorg City, vodka. Of course, the relic we get from this one is the vodka that Senor Taco was holding. This episode shows that Gorg City cannot all be bangers, sometimes they are stinkers. Moving on to episode 5. Newsroom. Most people consider Newsroom to be a call to action, where the videos got so good that they were gaining about 6 likes per video. The relic we gained from this one is of course the Piss News microphone. This episode shows us that this was the first actual banger on Gorg City to come around. Moving on to episode 6. Back in the Newsroom. The relic from Back in the Newsroom is of course the knife that supposedly killed Billy Bob. This episode shows us that a return the form can always be a good thing, except when it isn't. Now moving on to episode 7, the season finale of season 1. Gorg goes to court. The relic we gained from this one is Senor Taco's wheelchair wheel. The left side to be exact. This episode shows us that Gorg City is not protected from third parties. Moving on to season 2, episode 1, Life of a Nick. Highly proclaimed as the best episode of Gorg City to ever come. But the relic we gain from this one is not the best. The relic we gain is Nick's Gym Pass. Some call it a Phineas and Ferb 3DS game cartridge, but it is clearly a gym pass. I scanned it once and it let me in. How could it not be a gym pass? This video shows us that documentaries are a radical thing. Now moving on to episode 2, Troy's Trucking Adventure. Troy's Trucking Adventure, the relic that we would gain from such a thing, would have to be an audio file from Troy's wonderful singing. This episode shows us that, of course, trucks can be interesting. I made a 7-minute video about it. Now moving on to episode 3, Gorg busts out of prison. Some proclaim that this is one of the worst ones in the series, but every man to his own. The relic we gained from this one would have to be the rifle from 1862. The customized one, of course, because who cares about the bland one? This episode shows us that prison is a wonderful place, and like the news says, you should never go there. But Gorg had a rad old time breaking out. I don't see a problem. The next episode is a spin-off. It's not an episode, it's a spin-off, just like this. The relic we gain from this one is a bit of Senor Taco's profile picture. This episode shows us the seedy underbelly of the Globy Boy channel. But hey, who am I to judge? I'm part of it. Moving on to episode 4, Troy Loves the Mexicans. The relic we gained from this one is one of Troy's Miller Lite beers at the end mark. this video shows us that Mexicans have a heart too. Thank you for coming along on this journey back to the past with me. I've been a Troy number 53. Thank you for joining.